Good afternoon, everyone. Mary Sloan here with another episode of Inspirational Influencer News, People Making a Difference. And my guest this afternoon, Lorraine Ellen Scott, is a person who is definitely making a difference. One of the people she loves to work with are people who are more quiet, more shy, more willing to be in the background, and yet she helps them find their voice, find their ability to come and be able to speak out enough to be heard and have a great business. So Lorraine is a Reiki master teacher, an intuitive healer, an inspirational mentor who helps introverted entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers step into their power to thrive in business. With over 20 years of experience with vibrational energy healing, Lorraine developed her signature CALM, CALM process that helps people live life on their terms for growth and sustainable success. She uses this process in her online coaching program to help introverts and other highly sensitive people feel supported and confident in their place in the world. And she likes to bring fun and laughter into her work and incorporate card readings for clarity and inspiration to help others see things from a fresh perspective. Well, I'm with you on the fun and laughter. I think that's very important. And what does the CALM, obviously an acronym, what does that stand for?
Well, first of all, Mary, thank you for having me here. And I just want to say that, as we all know on Zoom, we're at home. They're working on my roof right now. Timing is everything. So if you start hearing some banging, please apology. So CALM, I love acronyms. I really do. As a Reiki master teacher, when I first learned Reiki, we were in the middle of doing a group session, and I opened my eyes and looked up at my teacher's wall, and she had the word calm, and it instantly downloaded to me: clear aura, loving mind. And I was like, that's what I embody. So clearing our mind, having our energy where we need it so we can feel fully ourselves, feel fully protected, and just have that loving state of being. So that's what CALM stands for: clear aura, loving mind.
Awesome. Yeah. You said you love acronyms. Well, I happen to be part of the IHAC club. I hate acronyms club.
Oh, there's good balance, Mary, of course.
Oh, well, onwards, right?
Well, some of them can be the same. So you're like, what does that one mean? Does that mean this or does that mean that? So I get you.
Well, yeah, trying to sort out what these initials is. There's so many of them out there. Anyway, so what primarily is the process that you use to work with people that you can really inspire them to kind of let go of feeling like maybe they're not good enough or not willing to kind of step out and be bold and really go forth and prosper?
Well, I know a lot of people talk about mindset, and we kind of roll our eyes. Oh, here we go with mindset. That's what I work with a lot with people is, it's all vibration. Everything's vibration. Our thoughts are vibration. The thoughts and the emotions we have are vibration. So when people get stuck or feel like they're in, they can't move past what their limitations are, I really like to just get them to address it from a different perspective. I think one of my superpowers is to actually hear the words people use that they don't really mean to use. They're trying to be positive, but they're coming from this point of view where they're actually saying negative things. So I'm always in there going, wait a minute. I hear you. Let's shift that. And the first time someone says, well, how do you shift it? I was thinking, well, that's easy. But things don't always come easy to people. So when you can be outside looking in and encouraging them and just get them to begin shifting, even shifting the words until it feels congruent and right. And then they can start shifting their thoughts to be in alignment with actually what they want instead of fighting against it, you know.
That's really interesting, because words really are powerful.
Yes.
And the words that we say, whether we say them to ourselves or we say them to others, we still hear them ourselves. And it's sort of like we really are, I believe, kind of instructing our mind with the words that we speak. So we really have to be very aware. And sometimes I'm really aware, and sometimes, of course, like everybody else, I'm unconscious. But it really, if you're not seeing the kind of results, you really have to look at your own thought patterns, because really that comes out in your words.
Yeah. And I think it's, if we're not paying attention, we get on autopilot and things are just happening unconsciously. And we don't realize all of that messaging behind what it is we do that's just playing in the background. It's like white noise. We can ignore it after a while, and yet it's having an effect on our energy. It has an effect on the way we show up in the world. You know, if we're always beating ourselves up and, you know, I always get so tired when I'm around people. Like, we talk ourselves into it instead of saying, I know what it is I struggle with. How can I show up in a way that allows me to be more myself? I think that's a big key.
And I love the fact that you didn't use the words, how can I change myself? Because that is one of the big bugbears is, you know, you really can't change yourself, but you can show up in a different way, but you're still you, right? I mean, and that's the thing, is that you can't change you, but we are chameleons. We can show up in so many ways. So it's sort of like choosing that power that we want at that moment, I think.
Absolutely. It's always choice. We always have a choice. And to be committed to what it is we want. I mean, and some of the people I work with, it's like that they don't think they can do this or that, or they have all these limitations. And it's like, you're fighting for your limitations by just saying what these excuses are, instead of, are you committed to shifting? And I like the word shift as opposed to change, because to me, change sounds like, okay, I'm a caterpillar and I'm going to be a butterfly. Like, that seems like so far apart.
A dramatic change. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A dramatic change. But shifting, you're allowing these tiny little incremental things. It's like, I have probably about 3 digital clocks in the vicinity of my kitchen, you know, my coffee maker, my microwave, my stove, and I set them all at the same time. And then eventually one of them starts to tick off, right? There's always that one. It's got to, you know,
so it's got to go faster. It's got to go slower.
Yeah, exactly. But it's shifting. It's such a minute that you don't notice it until it's like, oh, wow, you're 2 or 3 minutes off. And that's like us. We can make these changes that don't have to be painful, but they're just so gradual that it just becomes part of your everyday world.
And you know, that is such a neat way to think about it. And I hadn't really thought about it, but yes, of course, you know, we all have these digital clocks around us. They're everywhere. And you look down and you go, oh, that's not the same time. What happened? Somewhere there's something off here.
Got to take an average of all of them and go, I think it's sort of this time. Yeah.
And, so it's a great way to think about how you can move from where you are to where you want to go. It doesn't have to be this gigantic leap that, is just, oh, it's going to tear me apart and I'm going to not be the same person. But no, just, it's like, I'm constantly on a diet. I'd always love to lose some weight. And as long as I go down a little bit and not up, I'm sort of happy because that's the direction I want to go. And so it's like, I can't change from where I am to 50 pounds less by deciding, but I can eat right by deciding,
Mm-hmm. And what you said something, Mary, there that was, it's celebrating each of those, like you were talking, losing instead of gaining. And that's the key, is really part of the shift is acknowledging the little things that you've done that are changing. And we've been conditioned to only celebrate big things, right? At least, when I was growing up. Now everyone gets an achievement award. So we have to allow for that. Like the young people now, well, they get it, celebrate the little things. And it's true. We need to do that. Because that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us committed to things, is feeling really good about the shift that's happening. That's what I love about it. And one of the things that really helps me help my clients is the fact that you can take your comfort zone with you. And I know that's my point of view. And I know a lot of people, all the extroverts out there, you got to get out of your comfort zone if you want to grow. Well, as I always say, and you probably heard me say this before, but as an introvert, the moment I step outside of my door, I'm already 90% out of my comfort zone. So to know I still have to get even further out of it, like my energy drains just thinking about it. So I've shifted that. And it's like, you've always got to be comfortable about something in your life, in your world, what it is you're doing. And as an introvert, at least, and that's what helps you have the stamina to continue going down the path you're going down. That's what gives you that vitality.
Well, you said that that's something that's hard for introverts. And I definitely am not an introvert. I probably fit on the extrovert scale pretty high. But I also like the idea that you take your comfort zone with you, because I can be an extrovert because I'm comfortable out there being kind of loud, being, talking to people and getting excited and doing that kind of stuff. That is my comfort zone. And so even though I'm doing this, I haven't stepped outside of my comfort zone. And to ask people to step way outside their comfort zone is practically impossible, even though people may say, oh, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Not really, because I don't think, have the same power if you're not in your comfort zone. But your comfort zone isn't this box. We're not like a turtle. We're not stuck in a shell. We actually have something that we can expand and we can shape and we can shift, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the difference that I feel between introverts and extroverts is really how we manage our energy. Introverts need to go inward and have that quiet time in order to recharge. It's usually the opposite for extroverts, but I mean, we're all a mingle and mix. And, I meet all sorts of people who have a little of everything. But if you're too far, like you're saying, too far outside of your comfort zone, you don't have that ability to regenerate the energy you need in the moment throughout your business day. Or if you're at a live event or virtual event, you don't have that capacity to regenerate. So sure, you can be out of your comfort zone, but it's not sustainable.
I
So
totally agree with that. I mean, because you you can grow your comfort zone and you can realize that now this feels pretty comfortable, but I don't think function very well for very long outside of a comfort zone because we are just not made for that. I mean, it's sort of like, the safety net that was built in when we were created um, was that you have to know enough about your area and about what you're doing and everything else for you to know that you're safe, hence the comfort zone. And, to say that you can operate steadily outside of that, I don't believe that's true.
yeah, no. And, when people need to change from you have to get out of your comfort zone into how I like to word it, you expand your comfort zone.
Yeah,
You
that's
take it
it.
with you, you expand it as you go. And, when you start out in your entrepreneurial journey, you might be like this far from your comfort zone. And as you grow your business, you can look back and go, wow, look at me, going coming live, being interviewed by somebody. Like I could not imagine this when I was first starting in business. It'd be like, no way. And I'm not getting on camera. I'm not looking at a recording and any of that. And now it's like, it is what it is. The first thing you need to be comfortable with is yourself. And that's the easiest thing. Often we don't like to be, spotlighted, but it's more of what drives you. What's your why? What's your mission? That's is what matters. And that is what you need to focus on. If you feel like you're getting nervous or anxious, turn the spotlight off of that and yourself and onto what really matters. And when you do that, it just feels so much more congruent in the reason you get up and get into business in the first place.
Well, and I think is it the expression, what you focus on grows? I mean, so if you're
Absolutely.
focusing on the fear or you're focusing on the discomfort, but if you're focusing on the opportunity or you're focusing on how can I help, because I know if my focus is in here and I'm worried about, oh, what are people going to think of me? And does my hair look okay? And, are my glasses straight or whatever craziness comes through my mind. If that's what I focus on, then I'm not useful out there. I can't help anybody because I'm all in here. Whereas if I'm, concerned about, oh, so and so's got an issue and I think I can help them. And you can't even be aware enough to listen to that while you're all about you. So if you, maybe the introverts and the narcissists have a lot in common. It's all about me.
Well, the thing is with introverts is that no matter what we do, no matter how we show up, no matter how loud and proud we are, and we're still introverts. And it's not a bad thing. And that we'll always be introverts. And I don't say that to be like, oh, that's depressing, but it's not who we are. It's how we manage our energy. So, some people might even say, well, why do you even talk about introverts specifically? Well, a lot of it is part of the marketing. So people understand who I help. But I don't say introvert as if it's a detriment or a bad thing. And I know a heck of a lot of introverts who are not quiet, who are not shy. I mean, maybe it used to be, but I mean, shyness is for kids. I don't think as an adult, shy is the proper word. I think to me, it comes down to confidence, or maybe people who just don't like being around other people. I don't think shy. We talk ourselves, like I was saying earlier, we talk ourselves into this stuff. Like I was told since I was teeny, and I'm not really that tall still, but I was told I was shy. Oh, you're shy. Oh, she's shy. You hear it as someone else talking about you, your parents, your cousins, or whatever, and they saying they're shy. So we believe what we're told when we're young, right?
Well, and
We believe
labels,
it.
I think labels can be so disruptive and so harming, because then we think that that is who we are, as if we had this stamp across our head, shy,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
too loud, too dull, too, whatever. And so we don't, we just don't. And we have moments where we're shy. Gosh, I mean, even as a kid, when I walked into a room of all adults, all my mother's friends, wow, I looked pretty shy because I wasn't saying much of anything, because it was way outside of my comfort zone, because I didn't know them. I was afraid of not being an adult, like, oh, I'm gonna look silly because I'm gonna do something wrong. And I think that that's where a lot of us pick up some of these things that we do. And then because people say that about us, it becomes us, and
Yeah.
yet that's not really necessarily who we are at all.
No, no. And even if it was who we were, we always have the opportunity to shift that. Here's the thing. We can shift in our minds all we want and start implementing it. And we're only as good as the first person who reminds us of who they thought we were. I know it's kind of a bit of a mind twister, but it's true. We're shifting and changing, and then people say, oh, but you don't normally do that. That's not who you are. But I thought you were shy. I thought you were, so then we're like, wait a minute. Yeah, I am. Ooh, how did I manage to do all that then? So we can't allow the people who love us, who are trying to protect us, or the people who know us to keep pulling us back to who we used to be. They don't see the changes because we look the same on the outside. Another story for another time, which is why I had to dye my hair purple. But anyways, but right, we look the same on the outside. They don't realize all those changes are happening inside. And we have to trust ourselves and let go of other people's perception of who they think we are, or who they think we should be. That's big. That really is big. It took me a long time to figure that one out.
Yeah, I think one of the most damaging words in the English language is should.
I call it the shitty should. I do. Sorry, but
yeah, because who said we should, or who said that was better than this, or who put that box around us, and why did we let them, and why do we hang on to it and take it on like our turtle shell?
Yeah. It's a very judgmental word, definitely. Yeah.
Well, and I parents, I mean, you hear that all the time. Parents, oh, you shouldn't do that, or you should do this, and they mean well. Obviously, they want their kids to be awesome, but it's just that it really doesn't help, because it's kind of like a word of being when they only want to talk about an action, not who they're being. And so mixing up words, I think we started the conversation here with words are very powerful. And so we really all have to be aware, especially in our own conversations. And I think this is where we have the biggest issues of all, is just being hard on ourselves.
Yeah, our conversation with the world around us actually begins inside of us before our mouths open up and they become words to the world. Our inner dialogue is what drives us and drives the thoughts that we share with others. And so from an introvert point of view, if we're already thinking in our head, oh my gosh, well, people aren't going to really listen to me because I'm too quiet, or it takes me a long time to answer a question because I'm thinking about it, we're already thinking that there's something wrong with us. And that just drives me crazy, because that we have to honor how we process. We have to honor what we do. And when we do that, we can be okay with how we do it. Instead of it being in the way the world wants us to, we're doing it in the way that works for us. And how can I get a hallelujah? That's the ultimate comfort zone right there. You can walk into a crowded room and be confident in how you think and who you are, and the rest don't matter.
And that's really, you're absolutely, hallelujah. That's where power comes from, when you can do it your way and be confident that it's fine. Your way works for you, and it'll work for other people too. And we don't all have to be on the ball, giving the answer immediately. I mean, I used to watch these people in conversation who always seem to have the perfect answer to the question, whereas I would have been thinking about it for a little while. But I don't think it's a bad thing to have to think about a serious question for a little while. Sometimes it keeps you from blurting out silly things.
That's true. That's true. And I think, there's always going to be someone who comes across in our perspective as judging, or, we want to do it in our way, but someone else has a suggestion to do it another way. The ultimate comfort zone is just trusting ourselves. Allow people to have their own opinion and to have their ideas and thoughts. It doesn't mean we have to listen to what they say. We can hear them. We don't have to do what they say. We can still choose. We always have the choice. So it's not a fact of making sure nobody else tells me I'm this or I'm that. That's not how it works. There's always going to be someone out there who's trying to shine a light on something that isn't who you are. And your comfort zone is that you can just allow them to go on and do their thing. And it's not going to shift that inner you, that resolve you have, that commitment to who you are is not going to shift because of the world that's happening around you.
Well, and that can be the power of the introvert, I think, in that, if you can trust that inner guidance, if you can say, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay now, I'm okay now, I'm okay now, because it is the inner guidance that, in fact, is what will make you successful and will give you the power and will define that comfort zone. And the minute you step away from that inner guidance, it's not surprising that you may feel out of your comfort zone, because that inner guidance is important. And some people are really attuned to it, other people aren't. And we're all different. It doesn't make one better than the other. It's just, that's their way of doing it. This is my way of doing it. And be okay with that. And somehow or other, we get too caught up in belief that, it matters what the world thinks of us. And somebody once said, we'd stop worrying about what other people thought of us if we realized how seldom they do.
It's so true. It's so true. But we come from that era of fitting in, of doing what everybody else does. So we don't stand out of going to high school and all wearing the same kind of clothes, and now we're supposed to turn around and go, be unique and individual. It's like, wait, I don't know how to do that. So I can see how for some people that might be a bit of a stretch. And I think the first thing is to just have some inner quiet time to really get to know who you are, because that's the ultimate comfort zone, is knowing, as I mentioned, is knowing who you are and having the resolve to just be your unique self. And if I didn't meditate every day, I know a lot of stuff that's happened in my near past would have been a lot more difficult to work through. That I think we need that time. And it's not, we think comfort zone, especially for introverts, it's like, getting cozy, get that cup of tea and get that good book. And as good as that sounds, it's not just about having that time to just forget about the world. It's getting into that inner world and really exploring yourself. And I'll tell you, it takes work to do that, but you're worth it.
Well, I know meditation has really made a huge difference for me. And I think it makes a huge difference for almost anyone, because I'll get so busy in my day and life is going, left, right, center. And I'm doing this, doing that, running here, running there. And, all of a sudden I go, oh my gosh, my brain needs to slow down and just take a moment and let all the parts and pieces fit back together again, because really you just can't do too much in a day and keep it all together. And if you've got stresses coming at you and people telling you this, one person says that, the other, sometimes just like you say, go inside, take a look, settle down, relax, connect with your source, and then you can go on again and know that you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important to, have those daily habits. And the cool thing is that even if people don't meditate, they probably meditate, they just don't realize it. They don't call it meditation. One of my favorite ways to meditate is moving meditation. People do yoga or Tai Chi or walking in nature. And it's not about not thinking thoughts. It's about directing where you want your thoughts to go. It's a tool, definitely a tool I recommend. And we all have the ability. We all have a brain. We all have inner thoughts. So why not use them to our best ability to shift our energy? Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it. Time goes by so fast when I'm talking to wonderful people. And, fortunately on the show, I usually am. And you certainly fit the bill very well. Certainly someone who's making a difference. So how can people get hold of you if they want to know more, or if they feel like they could use some of that, taking your comfort zone with you, which is really brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, it's I had a lot of people fight me on that one. I'm like, look, you're not even introverted. You don't get it, but you get it, Mary, and I love that. Well, I have a gift that I think you have a link for there about having the stamina for success. And my website is simplehealingarts.com. I started out doing Reiki and that sort of thing, and had to shift this last couple of years into the online world. But I also shifted who I work with. But yeah, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me there. I'm also on Facebook. My Facebook business page is Empaths and Introverts. So that's easy to locate as well. And yeah, that's
well, we've got a
link
in the description here, which is great. So people can reach out and find out, how they can really take charge of their own life, because I think that's the power, whether you're call yourself an introvert or an extrovert or an outrovert or whatever. It's just a word.
Whatever vert.
And, it means whatever you want it to mean. And so I think it's really interesting to think about taking that comfort zone with us. And that's sort of thought to me part of the meditation process is when you can really take and have that comfort zone that goes with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of different tips and tools that I love empowering people to so they can be self-empowered to do things. So I work with emotional freedom technique as well, tapping on the meridians. So there's in the free download, there'll be links that you can access, like demos and things like that as well, which it's powerful. I think we all have the power to have that confidence, that clarity, and the energy you need to succeed in life and in business. I appreciate the chat today, Mary. It's been fun.
Well, I want to really thank you for taking the time to come on here and to be willing to talk about what it is that you do and give people a different perspective on the introverted life. So I really appreciate you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.